Welcome to the 2019 USL Championship Western Conference Playoffs. Quarterfinal round from downtown Fresno, Chuck Chansey Park playing site. Two teams that met less than a month ago, Fresno Football Club and expansion side El Paso, both making their playoff debuts tonight. Gary Bailey, former Manchester United goalkeeper Mike Watts on hand. The Western Conference bracket shows Sacramento has done the job against Reno. They've struggled against them in the past. It sets up for either team to win today and get a home game.
What a brilliant situation for either Fresno or El Paso, but it's all about getting through today's quarterfinals. You can't be looking ahead at this stage. This is a tough match for both sides, difficult to call. Fresno struggling with form, but at home. El Paso in great form, but away. What an opportunity to take on Sacramento at home.
Let's take a look at tonight's matchup of the game. It's brought to you by Own a Car Fresno. Own a Car Fresno. Drive with style. Christian Cheney in the spotlight, of Fresno native.
He gets a chance because Kudos Lawal has been suspended, but he hasn't scored enough for me. 4 in 18. He needs to score more. Tonight would be an awesome occasion for him to do just that.
Meanwhile, Josue Gomez has had no problem finding the back of the net recently.
He hasn't 6 in 17, but a lot of those coming recently. He's the informed striker, more so than Kiesewetter. In fact, 2 against Portland Timbers, 2 recently when they won 4-1 to qualify for the playoffs. So he could be the go-to player for El Paso this evening.
So that in mind, our road to victory is brought to you by Travel Shop. And for Fresno, well, you got to keep the ball out of your own net.
They have to. No wins in 5. They're struggling for form. And if you keep a clean sheet, every chance you go through to the next round. Just 1 in 17 clean sheets, not good enough. And for El Paso, well, almost the opposite. Keep momentum going. 4 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss in the last 7. And that loss was last time out against Los Dos when they were already through. So they want to just keep the good times rolling.
El Paso, one of 7 expansion teams in 2019. They rocketed from 9th to 6th, avoided the play-in round, and comes into Fresno in outstanding form. Fresno knows they're 180 minutes to the Western Conference Finals. Big game coming up next. First time either of these teams have ever been to the playoffs. El Paso Locomotive, Fresno Football Club. The winner will play host Sacramento Republic. Let's take a look at tonight's starting 11s. They're brought to you by El Mexicano. 4 changes for Fresno Football Club, and the biggest surprise is coach's decision. Jamal Johnson not even in the 18.
Yep, he's been left out. Alex Cooper coming in for him. Bustamante for Devin Yao. Somebody else has also not even made the bench. Then, of course, 2 suspensions. Ramon Del Campo, Sam Strong comes in for him. And Kudus Lawal also suspended. Christian Cheney takes his place.
Meanwhile, for Mark Lowry, 35-year-old manager of El Paso Locomotive, his starting 11.
Also 4 changes from the last game. That was a 2-0 loss to LA Galaxy 2. Yuma in for Chapa Herrera in midfield. Velasquez comes in for Richie Ryan in midfield. At right back, it's Becky for Brian Rebellon. And up front, Bossetti out. Kiesewetter is back.
Mark Lowry there at the near side of your screen.
Let's go!
How much time remains for this Fresno club? How many more games lie ahead? A win tonight, and this party continues at Chuck Chansey Park next week. A loss, El Paso plays hosts. We're underway, quarterfinal. Winner gets a home game in the conference semifinals in the Wild West. Fresno Football Club taking on El Paso Locomotive. Well, Gary, that is some kind of carrot to hang in front of both these teams. You don't just get to move on. You avoid that difficult trip to Reno and instead either play a derby match if you're Fresno, or El Paso, you get to go to home sweet home.
Yeah, home matches are vital. For Fresno, there's a home match tonight and potentially in the next round. So from a Fresno point of view, you couldn't ask for more to be in this position. And El Paso, they're in great form coming into this. It's a tough away match, but you're in good form. And as you say, a home match coming up should you get through this one. So great prospects going forward, but got to get the job done now, here today. That's where all the focus has to be for both these sides.
Andrew Fox. Tonight's injury report brought to you by Physio Motion. Castellanos dealing with a knee. Michak Jerome has been out much of the year, one of the better center backs in the league. And Jackson has vacated the country, gone back to Brazil after picking up a shoulder injury on the Texas road trip, which included a loss to El Paso at the beginning of the month.
Well, that's what life's about. You've got to deal with the injuries. You've got to deal with suspensions. If you're Fresno, 2 key players suspended against Orange County, and so unfortunate. But that's life. You've got to get on with it and got to get a result here today.
Ellis Hayden did swing a cross in, misfired. And it's with El Paso.
Thank
Logan Ketterer,
sponsor,
a 4th-round pick of the Columbus Crew in 2015, in goal, sends it away.
I think one of the biggest predictors for tonight is the home form of Fresno. Just 1 loss in 13, and that was Tacoma, or against Tacoma Defiance, and they're missing both their center backs. And El Paso's away form, only 2 wins in 11. Their form in general is good, away form not so good. Maybe this home ground advantage will be the telling difference here tonight.
Speared away by Intoko. For what it's worth, yes, both teams do play on, shall we call it, a similar surface. For Fresno, they finished 5 winless in the league. They have ultimately just 2 losses since June at home, to your point. A couple of them have been fairly thrilling. Their win against Phoenix Rising ended their 20-game win streak. Seth Moses, quite good in the grand scheme over 90 minutes against Orange County.
He wasn't expected to play the full match, but with 2 suspensions, or 2 players sent off, rather, red carded, he had to stay out there, and he did a great job, and wonderful to see. Whenever players get badly injured, he's been out for quite a while, you only hope they can come back and get through the first match and show that they're here to stay. And there he is. We wish him a long stay free of injury.
Over to Sam Strong. This quite simply has to be the biggest game he's ever played in. It's his 7th ever start professional level. That's away by Fox. Got by Bustamante. Probably make the same argument.
It's a lovely crowd they've got at home as well, Fresno. They get behind their team, they support them, they bounce up and down the entire match, even if they go behind. No wonder they've got a fantastic home record.
Moses lost it. And El Paso in motion the other way for Salgado and taken away. Alex Cooper. Elsewhere tonight, Western Conference quarterfinal action dictating the winner of this game will indeed play host to Sacramento in the next round. The Republic 3-1 winners against the number 2 seeded Reno 1868. And all of a sudden, Sacramento did what many thought impossible. They won the play-in round and the quarterfinal after coming off a weekend in altitude, a loss to Real Monarchs to close out the regular season. It is a foul there from Moses.
Yeah, they're one of the few teams, perhaps even the only team, to have won against the higher seeds. Just thinking as we went through the Eastern Conference playoffs this evening as well. It's all been the higher seeds playing at home. We've got the results as we see Adam Smith looking very smart with collar and tie for this very important game. But Sacramento being the only team so far to win away from home.
El Paso has a chance, and Austin has a chance tonight against Phoenix. They are a concurrent start.
Not much of a chance against Phoenix, I don't think, if Phoenix play to form.
Ross put nearly enough on that. Kept by Yuma. Strong push there, play on for El Paso. Ball in front for Salgado, and Kurimoto sends it away. And a Fresno foul, unnecessary, sends Yuma sprawling down.
Christian Cheney just using his strength there, but perhaps a little bit too much. As Mark Lowry just contemplates this match. Have a look at it again. Cheney coming in the back of Yuma, who then does a lovely fall with grace and style and wins the referee's approval. Adam Smith just querying the situation, as he always does, full of passion. Had a fantastic season this season. Just gone off the boil last few games, but other than that, it's been a wonderful time for Fresno fans.
Lucas Zapala is the referee in this affair. Yuma cracking to the back post and sent that beyond the dimensions. CJ Cochran, the goalkeeper for Fresno, has all in all had a very good year. Started every single game. Guy who came into this year feeling hungry, needing to play games. And he's got a manager, former goalkeeping coach himself, who's the first to keep him in line when things haven't gone according to plan. One imagines a run for Fresno in these playoffs will likely include some giant performances from CJ Cochran.
As we mentioned in the start of the match, it's keeping clean sheets. It's so important at this stage of a season. If you have to grind out a match with a 1-0 win, so be it. But the moment you start conceding, then you've got to chase the game, and then you get opened up. And we've seen some massive scores in these playoffs today. 8-0, 7-0, 6s, because when you start chasing the game, you get picked off. So being tight in defense, having a goalkeeper on form, that is crucial to progress in this tournament.
Alice Hayden. Strong. Daly. Daly hoping to see his former club in the next round, a former Sacramento Republic player. That did stay in. Cheney. Chavez has been dealing with a couple of niggling injuries along the way. Ball lofted along. Cheney! Well, he is begging for a corner, one he won't receive. And it's fair to say for Christian Cheney, whether this game sees Fresno through or not, this may well be his last chance to make an impact here.
Zacharias Hayden with a good ball in, and Cheney gets up well. Give him that amount of credit. Just got to try and hit the target though, maybe aim back across the goal. He had Chavez in the middle, doesn't always have to score. And that's the question mark about him. 4 goals in 18 is not a big return. He does so much of it so well, but that final piece of the jigsaw puzzle just didn't quite fall for him there.
Ketterer. Moses. Pursued by Kiesewetter, 17 in white. Got a cup of coffee, 2 caps for the U.S. men's national team. Turned over to Fresno on the back line. Chance! Bustamante, what a save! Ketterer able to get enough to watch that just touch wide.
He's devastated, Bustamante. He thought this was in the back of the net. Ball bubbles up there, and he gets like a toe poke to it. It's a good shot, but what an excellent save. Ketterer just getting enough to push it wide. Great goalkeeping. We just spoke about how good goalkeeping could and will play a part. What a good save.
Cooper, Kurimoto, brought down, flicked over, and a little kick from Chavez will result in Ketterer tumbling down, and there's not one El Paso player who isn't asking for a yellow card.
It was a little bit of a 50-50. I think they thought it was offside, El Paso. They stood around, and Cheney plays on. Have a look, ball in, gets headed out, gets headed straight back in. They all stand, the white and blue, they're all appealing, and Cheney knocks it up, goes for the ball. Brave goalkeeping. Here you go. Got to throw yourself in there, keeper. Nah, it's the worst tackle in the world, but probably painful enough for Ketterer. But he showed his commitment to the cause, and he's pointing to his thigh and saying, I got a boot in my thigh. Well, it was a 50-50 until he managed to grab it. Good pressure from Fresno.
Ketterer walking this off at this point, and Lucas Apala speaking to Cheney, and a handshake should put an end to a brief confrontation.
I'm not quite sure what you can say against Cheney. I mean, it's a ball up in the air. He's got to have there is a bit of a scratch. So maybe he's saying that his cleats have got too sharp. The studs are too sharp. I think that's more the point.
Folks, a goalkeeper is standing up for the striker. I never in my life thought I'd see this.
I just think back in the day, those things were just allowed to roll. Today, they become such a big issue.
I think if you ask either of these coaches, they'll tell you that. Ball slammed in front. A decent looking ball from Salgado. Sent Gomez and Kiesewetter off and running.
So I think it's amazing what Salgado can do for you from out wide on the right. He can be a wide player, but look at the size of him. He's whatever, 6'2", and he can get on the end of crosses, and good utility player.
6'4".
6'4".
No, don't short the poor guy.
Wow, that's even taller than I thought for a player playing wide. Here he is in the front of the screen. The player playing wide, that's a huge target man.
Former #1 overall pick in the MLS Super Draft by Vancouver. He's a guy who bounced around a bit. He's a native of El Paso. Thought he was going to be the #9 coming in, and when you get a guy like Jerome Kiesewetter into the organization, what's the best way for all this to click? The answer has been Kiesewetter up front for the most part, although at times Kiesewetter has moved off to the left, and then we've seen the emergence of Josue Gomez.
Well, nonetheless, I would always want a big man in the middle because he's a good target man, and that's what Salgado is, and maybe you can get Kiesewetter and Gomez to feed off him, but those are all the sort of combinations I'm sure Mark Lowry's been playing around with, and he's got himself to the playoffs, so who are we to criticize?
Correct.
Only question is, he must now take his team further.
Kiesewetter is a threadbare 6 foot tall. High hop, Cheney, Chavez off the outside of the net, and Fresno, who have been in pitiful form for the last, call it 3-4 weeks, looking like world beaters at the outset.
Good pressure again. Cheney with a good flick on there. It's a little bit of an error. Plays it into Chavez's path. He hits it hard and low. To be fair, I think Ketterer's got that covered, but it's good, positive, attacking player from the hosts so far.
I think Fresno's defensive record and the incredible talent, oh my, taken away. Moses, options, Cheney, And that's Yuma. Long distance effort goes cascading wide, well wide. And El Paso, a team that prides itself on its ability to build out of the back, have struggled a bit to do just that.
Well, they've struggled because Fresno are closing them down, and maybe that's what Fresno have thought. If you like playing out from the back, if you think you're good at it, let us close you down and make it difficult. And they've managed to nick the ball off them a few times.
Well, if you read the newspapers in Fresno, the meaning of tonight's game doesn't take all that much thought to figure out. Adam Smith telling us his message quite simple. There are players that go 10 years longer as a professional and never finish third in the table. The opportunity in front of them simply massive. Kurimoto, Cooper. Oh, he thought he was going to lob him. The spin he put on that made Ketterer think twice.
I'm not quite sure if he meant that as a shot or a cross initially. I'd like to see it again, because I think he's aiming for Cheney there, and it sort of comes off, perhaps a deflection, and Ketterer just plucks it out of the air. Are you going with the shot on that one?
The way he lines up and hits that off the outside of his boot to get all that spin on it, I don't know. Cooper couldn't get that through. And Alex Cooper goes sprinting on. He was injured against Tacoma in the middle of what was Fresno's season-ending spiral. Yuma.
Important time now for El Paso just to slow things down. It's been a wave after wave of Fresno attacks and high pressing. And now the visitors will probably just want to just own the ball a little bit, knock it around, get comfortable, try and sort of work their way into this match.
Ketterer now. One wonders what had happened out there. This way Gomez is still gesturing back at the official. He gone to ground. In the 17th minute of this Western Conference quarterfinal, the number 3 and the number 6 seed. Winner will face Sacramento by virtue of the Republic 3-1 win against Reno, finished up as this game kicked off. Which means the winner will indeed host a home game in the next round. It's worth noting that Swope Park might be the best example in recent years when they were in the Western Conference and made the final against Louisville. They were the 4 seed and never played on the road en route to the final.
I guess that's possible for Fresno. Home here, home against Sacramento should they win, and then possibly a home match after that. Depends on how Phoenix Rising do later on this evening.
Phoenix have Austin right now and would potentially play at home against a Real Monarch side that beat them 2 weeks ago in Phoenix. Nice little run here. Ball bouncing across. It was deflected by the Fresno defender, Sam Strong. And a corner en route for El Paso as Gomez makes himself key again.
Gomez is always a trouble, isn't he? He's in such good form. A little bit of a deflection there. Ball goes. It's knocked up, and that's always a danger. Little deflection, never know where that can go. But set piece for El Paso. Corners, always possibly get a near post flick on or something, or get it to one of the big guys.
And Toko battling with Strong, 3 and 24. Gomez saved off the line by Ellis Hayden. And has the AR given it? He has. El Paso scores.
All sorts of controversy here. Is it? Yes. Is it over? Who can tell? Did the linesmen see it? And we were just talking about set pieces and corners, and if it's good, you can get some joy from it. And with that, El Paso do get the opening goal. Just keeping an eye on the referee to see if there's any changes, any concerns, but delight for El Paso. They get their opening goal, and they're so good defensively. It's a battle for Fresno from here. But that's the importance of set pieces. Doesn't matter how you score, long as it goes in the back of the net. And who was marking Gomez? He's on his own. Zach Ellis-Hayden seems to clear it off the line, but assistant ref seems to say it crosses the line. And the goal is given. Wow. Now it's a real battle for Fresno.
Ellis-Hayden's foot very clearly in the net, but how far in, whether the ball entirely crossed the line, truth of the matter is, will be lost to the sands of time. We'll never know.
It is what it is. Fresno are going to have to fight back from this situation. And to be fair, they've had some bad luck. I mean, the last game out, 2 red cards. And there's been a couple of games, even this one against El Paso earlier. El Paso scored in the 92nd minute to win it.
Salgado. Well, it's a brief respite for Fresno. We're 20 minutes in, and it's almost hard to argue that it was against the run of play. Well, you could say that El Paso had found their feet a bit.
All the chances up until then had come to Fresno, so it is a tough one to take. But I was just talking about the bad luck. 92nd minute, El Paso scored a winner. 92nd minute, LA Galaxy equalized recently. And Adam Smith telling us it has just been some horrendous bad luck. And here they are in the ascendancy, knocking on the door, one set piece to El Paso, and they're 1-0 down. But that's where you've got to pick yourself up. Fresno, they've got to keep going, got to keep believing. Their home form is certainly in their favor.
Gomez in the 19th, 6 goals in the regular season, and of course, the first playoff goal for El Paso. Salgado able to maintain. At the feet of Drew Becky. Velasquez. Not a lot of touches on the ball yet. Velasquez. The collection of attacking talent built by El Paso. Kiesewetter right at the beginning of the year. Velasquez midway through the season is positively awe-inspiring when put together. This is a handball. It belongs to Fresno. Gomez's side. Alexi Bizzetti won a Youth World Cup with the French under-20s. He's an available winger off the bench. Velasquez has played in an MLS Cup final. Kiesewetter has played for the U.S. national team. Salgado was a #1 pick in the MLS Super Draft. Ball back heel flicked through the air, and will come out for a Fresno corner. And then Gomez is the one informed.
Yeah, and is he informed? But Alex Cooper here, and what happens on the one side can happen on the other, so now it's El Paso who have to mark up tightly.
Cooper. And again, Cheney towering up, is caught by Ketterer.
This really has opened the match up. A situation where Fresno, as the match goes on, will have to take more and more chances. We're still early doors, of course, but
Chance is quelled by Cochran.
CJ with an important save there. Another good attack there from El Paso. Have suddenly got a little bit of a jump in their step. With the home form that Fresno have, I can only but see them coming back out and pushing hard, and it really sets up for a fantastic battle here this evening, and so much on the line.
Kurimoto, Adam Smith saying maybe the most consistent player for Fresno this year, flying himself over on a jet from Japan for a chance to try out for a professional club. This will bounce away from Velasquez. Velasquez himself returned from South Korea midway through the year. Outstanding for Real Monarchs a year ago. After that short stint in South Korea, bought a house in El Paso, had a child, and has very much ingrained himself in the Locomotive community. Play forward, Cheney was right behind Chavez. Chavez slides through and couldn't slip it by Ketterer.
Another little half chance for Fresno, and these are all slipping away. They're good possibilities, and Chavez just not able to get on the end of that. Maybe because of good defending from El Paso. But they're certainly making the chances, Fresno. But as we've seen the last 4 or 5 weeks with their general form, 4 losses and 1 draw in the last 5. And the rest of the year, they've been absolutely in brilliant form, including, as you said, beating Phoenix Rising here, stopping that winning streak. They were, up until that point, Fresno were untouchable virtually. Since then, it just hasn't worked for them, and they've got to turn it around here tonight, or that'll be the end of their season.
Adam Smith put it this way: 5 losses all year, and then 3 in a row. What are the odds?
Kuramoto couldn't maintain it. Velasquez got blown up.
Just looking at that tackle and thinking, careful, Fresno. 2 red cards last week. You don't want any more.
Bad reputation, huh? And
Not just
check
a
that, it was
reputation.
better.
Yeah, not just a reputation. It's that today you can't miss time tackles, and if you come running in and fully commit and get it wrong, referees will certainly give you a yellow, and they might even be tempted to give you more.
Well, the problem is Gary lives in a world, is Manchester United-dom, that, you know, VAR. Without that, you know, bad tackle, you just hope for the best. VAR, you've got a whole different problem on your hands.
Yeah, but no VAR here tonight, so you just got to rely on the referee.
Ellis Hayden riding through the challenge and committing the foul.
Talking of the referees, Lucas Zapala here tonight, but they've been so good all season. They have to make split-second decisions, often with players running in their line of vision, and yet I've found the refereeing to be top class in virtually every situation. Even talking to Adam Smith about the 2 red cards last week against Orange County, even he said, to be fair, he could understand the referee's point of view. So, yeah, really good standard of refereeing. And these are pressure situations for refs as much as they are for players.
Austin and Phoenix on level terms in the 28th minute. Winner of that game has Real Monarchs. Austin would go to Salt Lake. Phoenix would play host. Long way out.
Chavez has been in good form. 12 goals he scored this season. The top goal scorer just ahead of Kudus Lawal. But no Kudus tonight, suspended, so it's on his shoulders and maybe on Christian Cheney's.
It's worth noting that Lawal, they could have gone to the disciplinary committee on Sunday and tried to file an appeal. Ultimately, they decided not to do that, in part because you can't challenge the first yellow. Cooper swinging that through, and a challenge from Jaime Chavez. See it go the other way. But also because the second yellow in that game was an elbow that got elevated.
Yeah.
If that goes the wrong way, the disciplinary committee could decide, no, we aren't going to rescind the suspension, we're going to double it.
It's always a danger. Yeah, it could be worse. So they've just taken their medicine and gone, okay, ref, you know, we get it. We see your point of view. It was a tough one to take at the time because I felt they were both quite harsh yellows, but you can see the referee's point of view. So without Kudus Lawal and without Ramon Del Campo, who also is a massive player for them, they've brought in Christian Cheney and said, right, your chance to do something. They brought in Sam Strong and said, right, your chance to do something. And at 1-0 down, it's time for them to do something.
Quite.
Swept over to Moses, who dealt with a broken foot midway through the year. Missed 4 months. Returned in the regular season finale. Back toward Martin. Himself played with the Fresno under-23s. Came through the Fuego. Came on little to no money. Finds himself a key fixture in the lineup. Chavez misguided.
Chavez very deep playing that ball. I mean, for me, he's a striker. You're 1-0 down. I want my striker right up on the edge of the box, not dropping deep into midfield trying to spray the balls around.
Velasquez working to bring it back to Yuma. It's worth noting the last time these teams met, Mark Lowry described the unpredictability of Fresno to an extent.
There are days where they play 3 in the back or 4, 1 striker or 2. There are principles that remain the same, but I have a good feeling Mark Lowry really didn't know what was coming tonight. I don't know that anyone did. We certainly didn't.
Yeah, well, that's the strength of Fresno, is they can play different shapes and play them really, really well. And all season they have. All season they have been absolutely brilliant until the last 5 or 6 matches where they've just lost a bit of rhythm, perhaps off the field activities, other things going on, but they've just lost it. And now they've got to get it back. And here we are in a match in which they've had the majority of chances and they're 1-0 down. So they're bad. The run of bad luck still continues. But you know, we always say when you get bad luck, it's up to you to turn it around. You can only do that by scoring goals, and that's why I want to see Jaime Chavez up front from a Fresno point of view, because he's their best chance of a goal.
He was a Sacramento afterthought. James Kiffey, the left back for El Paso, a former Sacramento Republic player. The storylines are written all across this field, not the least of which the Highway 99 Derby, potentially one more time this year in the offing if Fresno were to win. All for Salgado, not nearly strong enough. Martin, Cooper with a bit of traction, steered aside by Ntoko.
Good pressure here from Fresno. Those deep red shirts really closing down and getting good turnover ball. Question is, can they create enough opportunities inside the box? Very good around the box, very good down the lines here. Good width. It's good ball into the box that you need if you're going to score goals.
Moses. Ellis Hayden. He thought he had saved the goal off the line. The assistant referee said no. As such, 1-0 to El Paso, 19th minute. Josue Gomez continues to tally goals on the business end of the season.
I go back to that goal and wonder who was marking Gomez. You know he's one of your biggest danger players, and he was free in the box from a corner. Somebody didn't do their job in defense, and that's a crucial mistake.
Somewhat ironically, you call him big, but 5'7". That ball had to come to him. A push there has Cooper trailing the official rather than working on the counter press. Toko goes back to Ketterer. Real handy work there from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, nice ball out to Salgado. Doesn't he take it well? They switch sides of play, so Fresno are running back and they're having to move bodies across to the right side. They're getting really stretched here.
Ross finds the width, and a diving header sends it out of play. And El Paso, who did score on a corner back in the 19th minute, get another one here.
Quality counter-attack from El Paso there. Built up nicely down the right, switched it across the left, down the left-hand side. Fresno really pulled apart there, and it results in a corner, and I trust somebody will mark Josue Gomez this time around.
Interesting story about that in a moment. And the lack of marking on a set piece did Fresno in last week against Orange County. On the turn, Andrew Fox couldn't bring it in. So Kudus Lawal gets sent off minutes before halftime. The goal is down to 10 men. Let's simply get to halftime on level terms and be happy that way. A set piece in stoppage time undid that plan. It was the trailing run who Kudus Lawal would have covered had he been in the game.
Yeah, Harry Forrester making that near post run, and it was Kudus Lawal's man, or if not his man, it was his area, the near post area. And without that, they conceded that goal, and they managed Fresno to stay in the game until the dying moments when They conceded a penalty and had a second red card for Ramon Del Campo. So really frustrating there at the office yet again for Fresno. But all that's in the past. It's all gone. It's all now playoffs. Doesn't matter what you did in the past. It's can Fresno come back and win this, or El Paso going to go through and host Sacramento? It's all up for grabs here tonight.
It very much offends Gary's English sensibility, the concept of our American playoff structure. Adam Smith simply called it cup football, but you're stuck going, it's a cup in a league.
Well, it is. It's a league all season, and then it becomes a cup at the end. I prefer to have them separate. That's the European style, but
we have that too.
Well, Phoenix got a trophy sort of for finishing top, but no one really got that excited about it. They're all excited about this part of it. And yet the whole season, Phoenix were an unbelievable side. But anyway, I'm learning and I'm enjoying it. I love the playoffs.
Okay. All right. He's backtracking. Ball for Gomez, leaks through to Kiesewetter. You know, I heard the plate that Phoenix Rising got. Yeah. According to their PR man, Jose Bosch, includes enough space for 62 pizza rolls. I don't know if that has crossed the pond yet, pizza rolls.
Pizza rolls?
Yeah.
No. And getting a plate isn't the thing. It should be a cup, shouldn't it?
No, but that's why I look like me and you look like you. Got behind Cooper. There's an image here that just can't be totally conveyed.
Gomez has a goal already. Sends it through. Kiesewetter head on a swivel, playing for Gomez, came off of Daly.
There's something dangerous about El Paso, isn't there? When Kiesewetter's on the ball and Gomez is making runs and Big Salgado's getting in the box.
Velasquez. And Toko. Toko scored the opener between these two teams in El Paso. That was Wednesday Night Soccer on ESPN3. And at the time, we guffawed at the possibility that this could happen. Here's the man who scored the game winner. He's rounded the keeper. Kiesewetter couldn't put it in. Excellent recovery. Sam Strong went the distance.
Brilliant, brilliant from Sam Strong. Kiesewetter, wonderful. He outstrips the centre backs. He brings the ball down. He goes around CJ Cochran. You think he's going to stick it into an empty net, and Sam Strong gets back to save the day for Fresno yet again. Just shows you how quick and how good El Paso are on the attack. They haven't had that many attacks, and yet they've scored one and come ever so close to scoring the second.
As good as Gomez's form has been, that is about how difficult it's been for Kiesewetter to find goals after what was as strong a start as one could have imagined in this league.
You have to give him credit there for outstripping the centre-backs, getting around the goalkeeper. He does all that, part of it superbly well. He was on his own, and he came ever so close to scoring.
He's got 2 goals in the last 4.5 months after scoring 10 goals in 45 days.
Wow.
The well has dried up a bit.
Well, perhaps he can refine that scoring form, and this for El Paso would be the perfect time for him to do it.
Great article in The Athletic about Kiesewetter earlier this year about the need for a number 9, about Mark Lowry watching 5 years worth of Kiesewetter film to try and figure out where he could play best. He hadn't been a number 9 in quite some time, that center striker.
Have a look at this ball over the top, and he's through there. He beats the center back, Sam Strong, goes around CJ, and Strong and Mickey Daly between them. It might even have been Mickey Daly who blocked that. But between them, they managed to stop that ball from crossing the line. But again, the threat of one man up front, Kiesewetter, taking on that entire Fresno defense.
Played at Hertha Berlin and Stuttgart and Dusseldorf. now in El Paso. Free kick for Fresno. Kurimoto on the volley.
You can hear all the ahs from the fans there at Chuck Chancy Park. They're just desperate for something to happen for Fresno. And after a very bright first 10-15 minutes, the home side have struggled to fashion any real chances. So that's of concern to Adam Smith. He's got to be thinking, what changes do I make in that second half? He's given Christian Cheney a chance in the hope that he might score, but as yet nothing. He's got the likes of Diego Casillas. He's got one Pablo Caffer, of course, who could come in and maybe control a bit more of the midfield. All sorts of options there for Adam Smith, should he need them.
42nd minute in Scottsdale, Arizona. Casino, Arizona Field, Phoenix, and Austin remain level. Kurimoto. And Toko continues to be the human embodiment of a brick wall. And Salgado pushing on now. Getting by the much smaller Martin, and the cross is handled with ease.
How good is he, Salgado? He's 6'4". He's quick down the line. He beats his defender for pace and crosses it. He's got a lovely touch on that left foot of his.
He's terrifying. Opponents think he's terrifying, period. Ellis Hayden's gotten into the attack. There's Ketterer.
Yeah, can't challenge keepers much these days, so once it goes that high in the sky, it's pretty much keeper's ball. I guess all their job now, El Paso and Mark Lowry, is just keep it level, don't do anything silly, get to half-time 1-0 up. Certainly created some good little half chances. And they've come into this match more and more as the game's gone on.
Falls kindly in midfield, and Ellis Hayden sends this squirming to the opposite side. I mean, you think about the difference between these two teams from a tactical perspective and the way that they prefer to play. And you have this great ability to link up with these uber talented technical players in El Paso. The difference over the course of 34 games, Fresno completed just over 13,000 passes. That was 31st in the league. El Paso second, 16,821. I mean, you're talking an additional 125 passes a game.
Wow, that's a lot of passes, and it's a more direct style from Fresno, isn't it?
Truth of the matter is they have more goals to show for it. Salgado, that slide from Strong. The ball did stay in play. Kurimoto will run out in front of him. But it's not surprising then that Fresno's pressure against El Paso trying to build out is part of the game plan. It's not surprising that Fresno pushing those numbers forward in a direct nature leads to El Paso's ability to counter, right?
Yep, pretty much. The one player they're missing here today, I think, is Kudos Lawal. His pace up front for Fresno is so good. Christian Cheney he's struggled all season to do something. He tries hard. Look, he puts in a big shift, no question. He's a strong, brave player, but doesn't have that Kudos Lawal pace and hasn't scored the goals that Kudos has scored. And they're going to miss him today. They've got to find a way to win this match without Lawal on the pitch.
Velasquez taken down by Moses. Moses has a bit of hand fighting going on. But thankfully, neither fighting with his hands.
A little bit of skill there from Velasquez. Just catches a little bit of a late one on the back of the foot. Nothing malicious, but he doesn't like it, and sometimes those can be a lot more painful than they look. But also no rush at this stage from Mark Lowry and company. A couple of minutes to half-time. They've got a set piece. The referee's saying you did it once before, somewhere else on the pitch. You've done it again. I'm giving you a last warning, perhaps. A warning that Moses will do very well to heed.
Moses was sent off twice this year, and I say that knowing full well he missed 4 months with a foot injury and could have just as easily been sent off 4 times. Comes in, Adam Smith terms him a destroyer and made his direction to him quite clear last game. Break up play and be as simple as you can in passing to the nearest player in the same colored shirt.
Good advice.
He's an outside back. in Indy before this.
He's strong, he's well built, isn't he? He's ideal for that center midfield destroying position because of his body shape.
Say does the work of a few good men. Well, blasted across, and Salgado wanted that floated toward the back post. Salgado's got some work to do to catch up with the pacey Alex Cooper.
Nice play from Fresno, but it's not hurting El Paso as yet. There's only a couple of seconds left on the clock before half-time, so you'd think they would have get the ball in that danger area and just pressurize the El Paso defense.
Kiffey under pressure from Ellis Hayden. 2 minutes of added time. Coming up at halftime, we'll tell you where and when the USL Championship final will air. Give you a look at the bracket. Keep you updated what's going on across the league on ESPN+. Martin, chance, Chavez. Offside flag up.
Good idea, nice turn from Chavez. Gets a good strike on it, even if it is slightly off target, but unfortunately for him, offside. Again, with his 12 goals this season, he has been in great form. Just strays into an offside position there. Look at that, good touch, good turn, good strike.
Cheney, who may at this point be playing simply for his right to stay in this game. Cheney for Chavez. Will be a corner. Make no mistake, Adam Smith historically has not been afraid to shake up tactics or personnel at the break.
No, he hasn't, and Cheney's often been the one to be pulled off because he's struggled to score the goals. His rest of his work's good, including that ball into the box, but we need goals from him.
Cooper, Cheney. There's many appeals there for a penalty. Martin. And out comes Ketterer. Punch it away, and the offside flag raised. Looks like Ntoko, the one down right now.
I think his own goalkeeper hit him there and coming for that punch. Goalkeeper gets a high five from the rest of the defense because he came big and strong and brave. Not quite sure if that's an offside. If it is, then Fresno, I don't know why they're in offside from a long ball. They could see where they need to stand. Let's have a look. But fair dues to Ketterer, who comes and deals with this. You can see the long ball coming. You shouldn't be in an offside position. Keeper comes high and hits his own player on the back of the head, Chiro Ntoko. You won't be very cheerful about that. Neither is Adam Smith very cheerful, I would guess, at this stage.
Well, this will lead right into halftime, probably the next kick, and one imagines that'll give them enough time to take him through any potential concussion protocol necessary and check on the other vitals as well. Mark Lowry there, the head coach for El Paso, actually shares an agent with Ntoko. That's how that signing came about. Became their captain, a Dutch and a Belgian youth. Moved to Belgium at 5 years old to Liège. Played Eindhoven for a handful of years. It's just been announced by the public address announcer that Sacramento upset Reno. I imagine there's a fair number of Fire Squad Fresno who are aware of the fact that that would mean potentially another home game. But right now, that home game is El Paso's.
Yep, just deal with it one game at a time for both El Paso and Fresno. Don't get caught onto the next game. There's a massive match here, and this match could still swing either way. Very close. Fresno with more chances, but El Paso with the better chances, and of course, the crucial goal.
Well, at this point, Fresno was trying to kick that ball into halftime.
And there goes the whistle, just a hair later than they had anticipated. El Paso got the goal. It's Josue Gomez. It's probably not the sexiest. Fresno thought they had cleared it off the line, but off a set piece, they have done the job through 45 minutes.
Yeah, and Kiesewetter could have had a second between Sam Strong and Mickey Daly. They cleared that one off the line before it crossed. Now there's a bit of an argument with the referee as to whether that was a goal or not, but without VAR and without any other technology, I'm not quite sure why there's a point in arguing. You can't change it. There's the man who's got to do something second half, Christian Cheney. Got the potential, but needs the goals.
All eyes on the Fresno native out of Fresno City College. El Paso 1, Fresno 0. We've got highlight stats, and we'll take a look around the Western Conference when we return. Halftime in Fresno, and fans who have followed the team all year long have seen a consistent 29-year-old Japanese man who had a great job for Honda, played for their own club team, arrive in Fresno as an unheralded trialist, and become perhaps the most consistent name in their starting 11 week after week. Perhaps it's best for someone else to tell Hiroki Kuramoto's story.
アメリカでプレーをしたいっていうのを望んでから、実際にフレズノ FC に加入してプレーするまで、約4年かかってる。そのタイミングで、自分がどうしたいかっていうのを、向き合っている中でなかなか、チャレンジするっていうのが決めれなかったので、一番大きいことというか伝えたのは、自分の両親に、チャレンジしますということを伝えました。フレズノ FC にトライアウトを受けたときに、非常にコーチングスタッフ、GM のフランクさんや監督などと話をしたときにも、ものすごく自分はいいチームなのではないかなっていうのがすごい予想できたといいますか。
The kid puts in so much hard work and training. The fact that he can't speak English as well as most guys on the team and still tries to understand and talk and communicate, so proud of him, man.
自分が単純にここに来たいなって本当に思えたので、正直、日本と全然違うスタイル そういう表現が合ってるのかわかんないですけど、ほとんど日本人としかプレーしたことがなかったので、こっちに来た時に、日本人の、普通というものが全然違うなっていうのを感じました。少しだけ聞いたりもしたんですけど、やっぱりそのピッチ上だけじゃなくてピッチ外のコミュニケーションについても、全てが違うなっていうのは感じました。彼らとは、一緒に住んでいるわけですけども、自分はまだまだ英語ができない、そして、アメリカで過ごす時間も短い中で毎日、いろんなこと、自分がわからないことを、教えてくれる友達でもあり、一緒にピッチで戦っている一番信頼している友人でもあり、英語の先生みたいな感じでいろいろ教えてくれるっていうのは本当に心強いです。はい、I'm very appreciative for all staff and all teammates and all supporters. They helped me whenever I want. I hope to win this season championship. I'm honored to play with all members. So thank you.
North Texas Soccer Club, Greenville Triumph. Who will be the one? Going for goal, a great save from Zobek. Almaguer going for goal, pushed aside by Jay. Reflecting around, the shot coming, and it's in! The opening goal for North Texas. And there's the final whistle. North Texas Soccer Club, #1 in League One.
Dangerous now. Another shot for a handball.
That one served in.
Clever will take his shot. He fires it home.
Header.
In the ball. Jackson will finish it right in. Box over there. Kluma. Shot. Tries to find Mansell, who takes it out of the air and forces a brilliant save.
That's a great goal.
Post. Martina puts it in.
He's going to take a shot, and Tambach is diving to parry it away.
Back in, finds the head of his man, and Reno has leveled.
Still Saxini. It's a drive and what a save by Matt Pickens.
Bodies in front of him, Penny pick it out.
It's a shot down, it's off the post and in. It's right on. New Mexico equalizes in a dive offense.
Cutting back, Williams wins it. Seconds remaining, and that will do it.
Chip it up over the top. This ball's for Eddie Bolton. Eddie Bolton with a thunderous strike. Are you kidding?
Sion McFarland. Insurance has arrived for the win. Van Schaik steps up and he scores.
Welcome back to the 2019 USL Championship Playoffs Western quarterfinal from Chuck Chansey Park. Fuego the Fox taking an evening stroll, his side trailing a 1-0 with Gary Bailey, Mike Watts. As El Paso leads here, let's look at the larger bracket. In the Eastern Conference, quite simply, 1, 2, 3, 4, top 4.
Almost all there. On the eastern side, it's been decided. On the western side, well, what is it? Phoenix 0-0 against Austin Bold. Is there a shock there potentially? And Fresno 1-0 down at home. So the West is full of surprises. The East, it's been all the home sides who have won their matches.
So this is how the Western Conference lays out. You can see the playing around there. The Bold moved on
as the lowest remaining seed, or, well, the highest number to face Rising. You mentioned they're scoreless at the break. Theoretically, El Paso would host Sacramento and could host against an Austin team later. Fresno would host any team other than Phoenix that's left. This is the playoff preview if Fresno comes back to advance. Highway 99 Derby, Part 3.
Well, Fresno have got a bigger problem than that. They've got to get through this first game.
It's an exercise in thought, Gary.
Yeah, it's a lovely thought, but I can promise you now in their locker room, we can think about it. They certainly aren't. They've got a wonderful opportunity to host Sacramento. They've got to get past El Paso first.
Gary can't do hot takes. This is what it would look like if El Paso were to play. See, this is how it works, Gary. This is television. El Paso's dominated this year.
Again, wonderful to have a home match, and again, they have to get through this game. Long way to go yet. Yeah.
I'm banishing you to Liverpool.
No, nothing worse than that, please.
El Paso undefeated against Sacramento this year. Goodness gracious, I have to whip Gary into shape here during the break. We've got highlights and stats coming up for you. It's El Paso Locomotive 1, Fresno FC 0 at the half. Time for the ominous music in the first half highlights. Fresno Football Club and El Paso Locomotive at halftime in Chuck Chansey Park. Opening opportunity for Fresno. It's lost by El Paso and Ketterer. Huge stop.
Yeah, Bustamante with a shot. Good goalkeeping to push it wide. And this one here, a knock on. Cheney just knocks it through to Chavez. He just hits it down and hard, just past the post. Ketterer had it covered. Here's the goal. Nobody marking. Josue Gomez, he sticks it in the net. Did it cross the line? Lots of controversy, lots of argument. Referee says yes, and that's the only opinion that matters.
Difficult to tell from any angle we have, but without doubt, it is a goal, according to the linesman. And quite simply, I do think from our first angle that it's the correct call. And El Paso leads. That was in the 19th minute. And El Paso would find ways to get through again. Should have been two.
Oh, Kiesewetter, absolutely brilliant. Gets past Mickey Daly and Sam Strong, and they get back just to block it on the line. Does all the hard work beating Sam Strong. Mickey Daly does so well. Covers CJ Cochran. Blocks the shot. Keeps Fresno hopes alive.
And so halftime in Fresno. Chuck Chancey Park, home sweet home for Fresno. The numbers have been fairly staggering at home. Juan Pablo Caffa, the captain's waiting to come on. You see the numbers on the road last year, simply dismal. That's why Fresno missed the playoffs in their expansion season. But they have improved there, and at home, 10 wins. They're one of 3 teams in the Western Conference with 10 or more wins at home.
Well, substitutions doesn't surprise me whether they happen right now or at some stage in the second half. There's options for coach Adam Smith, and Juan Pablo Caffa is one of them. The other one for me would be Diego Casillas. So we wait to see if they will be brought on either now or at some stage in the second half.
Of course, for those who don't know, quite simply, there is no draw here. There is no replay. We go as long as it takes, up to 120 minutes. If we're level after 90, and penalties to follow if at that point they can't figure it out. Jaime Chavez, who has come off, and Caffa, who has come on. And while Chavez did not score in the first half, ball squared across and caught by Cochran, he had been dealing with a handful of injuries, and one wonders if perhaps that played some role in his exit.
I would think so, because you're taking off your top goal scorer at a time when you need goals. So I can only assume that was forced on Adam Smith. But certainly with Juan Pablo Caffa, he's got a player who does score a few goals, especially from set pieces, but who can control the match. Wonderful left foot the 35-year-old Argentinian's got. And that could be just what Fresno need to take over control of this match and get El Paso on the back foot.
Played up to Christian Cheney and lost there. And sprinting out of midfield is Ross, unimpeded still. A serpentine run, and Velasquez now. The El Paso bench up at arms. Sam Strong takes over.
He's living up to his name there, wasn't he?
Sam Strong arm.
Yeah, pretty much. And they were complaining, but he's a tough centre back. Physical. That's part of his game. Look at the shots on target. 4 to El Paso, just the 1 to Fresno. Yep, all the possession and the neat play doesn't count if you can't really get in that box and force the opposition goalkeeper to have to scramble and make saves.
Sort of been the story for El Paso. They can make it look as pretty as they want, but only 35 goals. Good a defense as they were in this Western Conference going into the final month of the season.
Huge 45 minutes for both sides. For the side that has a bad 45 minutes, it could be, and it's likely to be, the end of their season.
Yeah.
The team that plays well, who knows where it ends.
For what it's worth, El Paso finished 42 goals for in 34 games.
And yet they've been sharp here. I mean, to be fair, they've got the goal. Kiesewetter just had one blocked as it was about to go in. So they have looked decent up front, El Paso. Maybe they're just finding form at the right time in the season.
Phoenix Intrepid reporter Devin Kerr tells me that Austin very much should have a lead in that game in the 51st minute. A great save by Zach Lubin. The difference there. Phoenix still on level terms at home. The #1 seed has gone down in 2 of the last 3 years in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs.
Devin Kerr had something negative to say about Phoenix Rising? Is
No.
that possible?
Cheney! Oh, he scored!
That's the goal. That's the one they wanted. We've been saying you got to come good, and today Christian Cheney has come good. He needed to. He needed the numbers. He needed a big goal, and that is the one they've got. Look at the excitement from the Fresno players and the fans. They're back on level terms. Great effort there from Christian Cheney and from Fresno. The ball gets whipped in. Beautiful cross. And he gets up almost with the back of his head to finish that one off. And we really do have game on now.
That the goal you wanted?
Yep, that's the goal I wanted. If ever you're going to win over the critics, Christian Cheney scoring in these sort of matches is most definitely the way to do it.
Four in the regular season, one in the postseason. And we're level.
Yeah, and it's a Fresno home match where they've hardly lost all season. A fantastic home record. They've only lost one of 13 at home with this wonderful crowd behind them.
Salgado shot out of a cannon, reaching the end for Gomez, and there's Ellis Hayden.
Good defending, but Salgado brilliant yet again. Pace for a big man. Look at this, he takes on Cooper, gets past him, skins him in fact, head up, knocks the ball across. Ellis Hayden doing really well to clear that one.
Alex Cooper just got his second assist of the entire season. Cheney trying to take this game on his shoulders. If you don't think he understands the magnitude of this moment and this game in this city on this night.
Sam Strong with a bit of a tug there. It's going to get him a yellow card. Not a wise thing to do. It means that from now on, Sam Strong has to be very careful of every single tackle. Have a look here, and it's an obvious one. He just holds on to his shirt. You're always going to get yellow carded for that. To think they had two eventual red cards last game out. The last thing you want is another one in this game.
This is actually his 9th professional start. I called his 7th earlier. He had 2 a year ago. And in that time, he has now accumulated 4 yellow cards.
Strong by name, strong by nature.
You know, I read somewhere his nickname is Sheepdog, but it had 2 G's, and I don't know why. I couldn't tell if it was a typo or if it was reality. These are things I hope to find out this week. Perhaps I have my own typo.
Don't think these are things that are worrying any of the players or management at the moment.
No? Moses. Bustamante. I have seen Bustamante a bit more central, perhaps, than other times this year. Fresno into the final third. And the cutback ball again from Cooper.
I think Bustamante is likely to go up front on occasions and just support Christian Cheney and leave Juan Pablo Cuffer to stroll around in midfield and try and control the game.
You know, the moment that Juan Pablo Cuffer's, believe this when I say it, age 35 season probably hit the skids, is the moment Seth Moses got hurt. A lot of the talk is about how Moses does 2 or 3 men's work, which is good because Juan Pablo Cuffer at this stage of his career needs someone to carry some of that load in central midfield.
Are you saying he does half a man's work at 35?
I'm saying if he scores, you know, a goal or assists a goal, he's done a full day's work, and if he's unable to do that defensively, he's not going to win you the game.
He has got the most magical left foot, Juan Pablo Cuffer. Absolutely stunning. It's like a wonder where it can move the ball around. So yeah, if he doesn't cover the same ground as the others, you can let him off the hook because of that left foot of his.
Strong step. And a whistle against Gomez. And Ellis Hayden goes down.
It's a crucial phase of the match now as you're coming up to the 2/3 mark. Who wants it the most? Who's prepared to really put their bodies on the line. Not that both teams haven't so far, but you get that extra kick now. One of the teams might want it slightly more than the other, and they can get on top. And that second goal, as you head towards the end of the game, is the one that could put a lot of pressure on the opposition. So who will get the second goal?
Ketterer gave it away. Oh! Cooper! 2-1 Fresno! You couldn't have read the script like this.
Well, I was in mid-sentence about who's going to get the second goal when he actually hits this Cooper and sticks it right in the top corner. Alex Cooper, and have they turned this game around, Fresno, in the second half? Huge credit to the home side. They've had a terrible run. They were on the rack. They were 1-0 down at halftime, and Adam Smith has helped turn them around. He's had to make changes. He's had to take Chavez off through injury, but have a look at the goalkeeper here. Ketterer tries to play a risky ball through. Alex Cooper just controls it and sticks it straight past the keeper, straight back at him, into the back of the net. Keeper gets a hand on it, not enough, and they've totally turned it around, Fresno.
Absolute shocker. And Fire Squad Fresno trying to avoid being extinguished tonight. El Paso allowed 36 goals in the regular season. That's fewest in the Western Conference, tied with first place Phoenix. Phoenix had a plus 53 goal differential. El Paso's was plus 6 by comparison.
Don't compare any club to Phoenix. Adam Smith knows that. I mean, they beat Phoenix, but even Fresno can't compare figures with Phoenix. They have had just the most unbelievable season so far. Tonight's match, we don't know what's going to happen there yet.
To be determined. There's so much life in this game at present. One has to imagine another goal will come. Just seems unimaginable that it ends this way for El Paso.
Danger is for El Paso if they start chasing the match and they leave gaps at the back, they could be exposed.
Chance Gomez! And this time it's Martin who saves C.J. Cochran's bacon. Without doubt, the back line has made more saves tonight than C.J. Cochran has.
Crucial saves. Gomez yet again, that important person who seems to get on the end of opportunities. Another set piece.
Kiffey, that strong-willed. Yuma drives it off of Bustamante. You look at this lineup right now for Fresno, and you can understand where their pride is coming from at present. There's something to be said for it. Bustamante, a Peruvian player, played with the Fuego. Cochran, his first real chance to be a starter. Kaffa on the tail end of his career. Martin, an unknown player that no one really gave a chance after he fell out of favor in the youth national program. Christian Cheney, Fresno City College guy, couldn't get any run at all with Sacramento. There's something a bit romantic about this moment for the Fresno home fans, and yet folks from El Paso can make quite the same argument for their own team. An expansion side driven by their own desire to play a beautiful brand of football. A young manager who saw his first opportunity disappear in Jacksonville. Took over a club near the border where he felt like the competition would drive him to be the best he could be. And brings in a collection of stars falling and rising, and has taken them to the playoffs in the first year. This quarterfinal is chock full of reasons to watch the next 30 minutes. Bounces away from Ketterer, and it'll be a corner.
Phoenix still battling away there against Austin in the 61st minute. But set piece coming up. If Juan Pablo Caffa takes it, which looks likely, he's got that left foot that can cause trouble, or he could just play it short.
Setting up a different left foot. Header Daly, and through all the smoke,
And popping out of the mystery machine to make the save is Ketterer.
Ketterer's going to look back at that goal and have to hold his hand up to some extent. I know El Paso want to play lovely football, but there's times when you can't take risks out of the back. And he tried a quick ball. It got intercepted and hit straight back into the net by Alex Cooper. I just wonder, and I've said it many times, I don't think it's worth the risk when you ask your goalkeeper to play balls out the back when it's not on. There's very little to be gained and there's lots to be lost. And right now they've lost a second goal. And you wonder if that's going to cost El Paso their chances of continuing in this tournament tonight.
Taken by Fox. Moved to Texas to be with his wife. Paso sprung out of the ground. He's become a critical piece.
Not sure what that was from Chiro and Tok. I think he just totally mishit that. Ball goes out of play. And he holds his hands up and says sorry. And there's a couple of words there from Yuma. He says, in future, give it to me because I know how to pass the ball. Look at that crowd. Wonderful. We talked about them earlier. The support they give Fresno. And that's why their home record has been so fantastic this season.
Adam Smith said he hoped that that extra man would give them the lift. Cheney bursting through again. Martin. It's Cooper finding the width and driving in. Bustamante slid away by Yuma, who's broken up play after play. Well, that's calm and steady from Yuma.
Very good play, but this high press again from Fresno is making it difficult for El Paso to play out. Forcing them back. They seem very comfortable. They seem very calm. You actually think back to that chance for Kiesewetter in the first half when he rounds C.J. Cochran and think, wow, you know, El Paso will probably be wishing that had gone in. It would have made life a lot easier for them. Now they're one down and they're chasing the game.
Cooper receiving from Kaffa. He's playing out of a deep lying position. Kaffa rising higher up the field. Cooper has it slid away from him as far as Moses. Cheney. Kiffey. Moses. The bleachers. No, the dugout.
Yeah, it's hopeful 30 yards out. It's either hopeful or overconfident, or you can pick whichever word you want, but it is a good thing for Fresno. They've got that confidence, they've got that belief that they can go on and finish this match off there. Look, their high press again. Cheney is looking sharper. He must be super excited by his goal. Fresno just making it very difficult for El Paso to play out from the back. Pressure again, Zach Hayden forcing it back. Fresno 2 on up. They don't mind if El Paso would have played around at the back for the next 30 minutes. They're more than happy.
James Kiffey. Gomez has work to do, and there's Sam Strong. Almost assuredly, he will find his way to the bench after this game, should Fresno advance. Given that Ramon Martin del Campo, the focal point of their defense for the last 2 years, is set to return from a red card. But on this night, he's been an absolute warrior, if at times getting into some ill-advised tussles.
Yeah, like we said earlier, he's going to have to watch every tackle. Every tackle has to be perfect. If it's not, He gets a yellow, it'll be second, then he's off, and then Fresno are under all sorts of pressure. Good shove in the back there by Andrew Fox. Wasn't difficult to see the push on Cheney. And that's the goalkeeper kicking it clear, making sure there's no risk. CJ Cochran gets it down the pitch, lets his forwards fight for it. They win a free kick. It's the alternative way of playing the ball out of defense, as opposed to Ketro trying a clever pass which gets intercepted. When those passes come off, fantastic. When they don't, you pay a heavy price.
You see the HD there on the right wrist of Lucas Zapala. All of Pro wears Huntington diseased wristbands. That was from a moment ago. Usually in May during that month, but he's one of the referees that you'll see wearing it all the time. And it's worth noting that appeared to be a handball. Whether it was a handball, yes it was, or the ensuing tug on Moses was largely irrelevant. Anywho, Pro, as much as we love to get on the referees, that's a really beautiful gesture and one that deserves positive speak, as Terry Vaughn was tested for having the Huntington's gene over 15 years ago and was a rep for U.S. Soccer for quite some time as a referee, a native of Iowa. So well done by Mr. Zapala.
Good moments for Adam Smith. We saw him just sit down there. Fresno on top on Pablo Caffa with a free kick.
Caffa lofting at Ketterer. It's worth noting that part of the reason they brought Ketterer in, he never actually played for Greg Berhalter, but he did train under him in Columbus, the thought being he was well schooled in that system of being able to possess out of the back as an understudy to Zach Steffen for the Crew in the past few years. That was part of the allure.
I'm sure he's very good, and it's not a case of you shouldn't play out the back as a keeper. It's just that you got to sort of realize when you're under intense pressure and when the ball is likely to be lost, and then you just hit it long. And too many goalkeepers take these risks, not just here at this level, MLS level, EPL. We see it every single week with goalkeepers who feel they have no choice but to try and thread a ball through the middle on the edge of their box. I mean, it's crazy. If you're not sure, just knock it 60, 70 yards down the pitch. You never know. It might end up being a nice through ball one day. Was it? That's what happened to Ter Stegen from Barcelona. He comes to the edge of his box, Ter Stegen, he whacks it long, it goes to Suarez, and he scores.
What you're describing right now is, quote, old-style English football.
Well, safety from a goalkeeper. That's what I would like to say.
Tony Poulos is nodding somewhere viciously in agreement.
Anthony Poulos' father, the St. Louis coach.
Yeah. Moses thought he had intercepted that right to Ntoko.
The work being put in by Fresno here. They're 22 or so minutes away from another home tie. They're closing down. They're just making it so difficult for El Paso to find a gap, to find a little opportunity.
Kiffy trying to combine with Salgado, and it's a free kick for El Paso from just off the touchline.
Clever play from Salgado, just tempting Zach Ellis-Hayden into a little bit of contact. Not too much, but as soon as he felt it, down he went. It's good professionalism. And now there's an opportunity here for James Kiffy to whip this in with his left foot. They've scored from one set piece, El Paso. No reason why they shouldn't score from a second, especially with big Chiro and Toko in the middle.
Salgado 6'4", and Toko stands about 6'1". Be a hair taller than that, too. Meter to inch conversion. Kiffy was looking for Ntoko, and it's Cochran who comes out and quickly whips it forward. And Kafa using all the fuel that he's been holding in. He's got trailers. Kafa, back post, Bustamante!
That's a great chance from Bustamante. He's got to hit target. If the keeper saves it, it's one thing. Firstly, CJ Cochran, lovely catch, lovely throw. Juan Pablo Kafa, head up. Look, he's looking everywhere. His feet are comfortable. He just needs to know where to pass it. He picks him out at the back. Bustamante chests it. Got to get over the ball and knock it low. Then you've got a chance of scoring. What a great opportunity spurned there by Fresno.
Moses gets beyond Yuma. Bustamante on his right, Cheney on his left. Cheney through the pressure, and Ketterer will snap it up. Elsewhere right now, this game in the 70th minute. It's gone into the 71st. It's 2-1 Fresno. Phoenix and Austin still level, and Phoenix has just lost a defender to injury. Ball to Bustamante, headed down! There is no logical way to tell me how Kurimoto didn't cash in there. It is 2 consecutive games where he has left a goal out on the field.
Have a look at this. What an opportunity. Lovely ball gets knocked in. Bustamante once again at the far post. Good header. Kurimoto, does that come off the keeper's foot? Because I can't figure out how he can miss it. Bustamante sets it up. Kurimoto. Did he just miss the target altogether?
You are aiming at a goalkeeper scattering back toward the middle of goal, and I know why you're trying to hit it out there, but Lord.
Just hit the target and if it hits the keeper, fair dues. You give him credit for the save, but that's 2 gilt-edged chances they've had, Fresno. And El Paso are still in this game. They shouldn't be, but they are, and you never know if they come back and score. Wow. Chances going a begging.
Tiffy slides it through. Gomez. Ball bounces. Kiesewetter goes down. Referee immediately waves no. Grabbed by Cochran. And it's thrown out with Daly down injured. He's just trying to give Kurimoto the benefit of the doubt over here.
No, it's a bad miss from Kurimoto. If it hasn't hit the goalkeeper, it's a really bad miss. But have a look at this scramble. We said El Paso can create if you don't kill them off. Gomez there. And Kiesewetter looking and saying, is it a penalty? I don't think so either. Let's have a look at it from this angle. Elijah Martin. No, he just barely touches him, and Kiesewetter goes straight down. But you've got to be careful with your hand in the box. Good to see Mickey Daly up. Adam Smith having a bit of a chat.
The outside of his ankle stepped on by Gomez as he had gone down through the challenge. Unintentional. That's why Daly's a little banged up.
He's tough as can be. He'll get through this with no problem. Problem is, though, that Fresno should have killed this game off, and they haven't. And El Paso is such a good team in such great form that you leave yourself open rather to them getting back in this game.
.76 minutes gone in Arizona. Still level.
Offside there, and a little time for Fresno to get a breather. Just calm things down. They've had the chances. They've even allowed El Paso a little bit of a sniff at the goal. Now need to start to get a stranglehold on Mark Lowry's side, not allow them chances. 2-1 up. 17 minutes is a long time to work the clock down, but certainly you want to just try and keep possession as much as you can and sort of force El Paso to start taking risks to throw more bodies forward, and then you can counter.
Chuck Chansey Park in Fresno. It's a game that's drawn very interesting crowd, one would imagine, nationally on ESPN+. Perhaps something a bit ghoulish this week before a Halloween to some viewers. Fresno on this night drawing a large crowd, hungry for their first playoff win after a year of grand scheme failure, finishing well below the line. With weeks to go, they knew their season was over. This year, they had a chance to finish second. They finished third. And as a result, they avoided Sacramento in the first round, but may see them in the next. If they do, it would be a home game. A precious home game. For El Paso, the same could be said. If they come back in advance, off they would go to Southwest University Park, continue their season. With a quarter hour to go. Cooper, terrific, but fell down.
Lovely little turn, wasn't it? Brilliant from Alex Cooper. But again, look at the hard work of the Fresno players. Chasing, closing down, hunting El Paso, making it difficult for them to play out of their half.
Kiffy.
Crowd still singing, giving them plenty of support, Fresno. And that's why they're so difficult to beat. Adam Smith saying it is the crowd, it is the type of pitch they have. He said, and that's why we're almost unbeatable at home, as Phoenix Rising found out.
El Paso's coaching staff described a blue-collar Fresno team, but said blue-collar can win football games. The desire can win games in football. Come with boatloads of that. El Paso's passed all around them. Has had their chances. Be up as many as 2 in this game. Salgado looking to equalize, playing it across the face of goal dangerously. Dangerous not out yet. And here's the magician himself, Velasquez. Kiffy. Kiffy! A blast! He scores!
What a strike, what a brilliant strike from Kiffy. They're going away from goal to his right-hand side. I thought maybe he'd missed the opportunity. He turns, he catches it beautifully, sticks it nearly in the top corner past CJ Cochran. His manager, Mark Lowry, got to be delighted with that. What a wonderful strike. Have a look at it again. Salgado causing all sorts of problems there. And they're on the edge of the box. Velasquez, a couple of tricks, comes across, takes a Kiffy, and then as he's going to his right, he pulls it back the other way. CJ hasn't even dived for this. He's just watched it fly into that corner of the net. That is a wonderful strike there from Kiffy, James Kiffy, and they're back on level terms.
His first goal in an El Paso uniform. His first goal since 2017 with Sacramento. I mean, goodness gracious. What a moment for James Kiffy. You dream of goals like that.
But if you're a Fresno fan, you've got to be, or management, you'll be looking back at those chances missed. Bustamante had a great chance. Kurimoto with an open goal almost. That was the time to kill off El Paso. They didn't. When you allow a good side like that to stay alive, this is what can happen. They get back on level terms. And now, once again, it's anybody's game.
By the way, to put Kiffy's goal into just a little more context, the 30-year-old won the USL title with Sacramento in 2014. A late signing, settled the left-back job. Preki rode him all the way to a cup. 145 professional appearances. That's his third goal.
Wow. Not a big return from that many appearances. But what a time to wait for that goal, and critical for El Paso. Changes the mood of the match, gives them confidence. And like we say, now it really is sitting on a knife edge, this match. Could go either way.
Gomez in the 19th, Kiffy in the 77th, sandwiched around goals by Cheney in the 49th, and Cooper off a miserable error in the back in the 55th. And in the 79th minute, all square. Kiffy again.
brimming with confidence. Salgado unable to force his way by Cooper, whose heavy touch gives Salgado another look. Oh, look at this.
It's a time for brave players, players who avoid making errors, players who can take risks. 10 minutes to go. You don't want to be the player that makes the mistake. That's why you need to be brave, believe in your ability. Zacchaeus Hayden trying to force the game on that right-hand side as he does so well.
So the first round's been pretty good.
Unbelievable.
Playoffs? Yeah.
Unbelievable. Right. Some of the results that we've had today.
You buying in yet? You good? Adam Smith said it quite simply. It's called football.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm still too European. I think there's a league and there's a couple of cup competitions and the two are separate. Doesn't mean I can't enjoy this though.
Two upsets in the playing games in the East. Both those teams easily dispatched. Top 4 seeds are through now in the quarterfinals in the Eastern Conference. Indy 11, the 3 seed, will take on the 2 seed Nashville. The 1 seed Pittsburgh will host Louisville, the twice reigning champions. In the West, it's been far more murky. The 4 seed did get through. Real Monarchs will go and play the winner of Austin and Phoenix. That game's still on level terms in the final 10 minutes. They would host Austin or go away to Phoenix. Sacramento, an upset over Reno. The 7 seed over the 2 seed means either of these teams would host the winner on Saturday next week. Sacramento 3-1 winners earlier today. Into the final third go Fresno. Ball for Cheney, slides in. Couldn't tap it home. That has been a familiar route for Fresno to travel in this game. And quickly El Paso following route 1, right down the middle of the field. Velasquez, Gomez, angle tightening, slide, penalty! Strong concedes a penalty, and he's on a yellow card. And the referee has 2 decisions to make.
I'd like to see that again. I don't know if Strong got the ball first. But we did say when he got the first yellow, he's going to have to win every tackle and make it perfect. And he allows Gomez to get the ball here. It looks to me like he does get the ball, but does he get the player first? Have a look, this will tell us. He might get the player first, yep. I think he takes Gomez's ankle out first. It's risky, it's unnecessary, just hold the player up. And now, as you say, is there going to be a second yellow and they're down to 10 men?
Well, it appears he might avoid that.
Almost like a double jeopardy where if you're giving the penalty, you don't give the second yellow, but...
Cochran made enormous saves against RGV. And then not once, but twice against the league's almost guaranteed MVP, the Golden Boot winner, Solomon Asante.
This match turned around again from Fresno going 2-1 up and having 2 great chances to extend the lead. Now it's El Paso who can take the lead again.
Velasquez, history with penalties is unparalleled. He scores! Sebastian Velasquez!
Look at the excitement and the passion for El Paso. They know what a crucial goal that is with just 7 minutes left. Heartbreak for Fresno, because they were up 2-1 only, what, 10, 15 minutes ago. Now it's El Paso who have to hold on to their lead. Wow, what a match. 5 goals, excitement, opportunities, missed goals, and a good penalty finish.
An article in Vice explains Sebastian Velasquez's history. A missed penalty in the MLS Cup final for RSL. An off-season spent drinking in his native country of Colombia. The name of the article, How Alcoholism Nearly Wrecked Sebastian Velasquez's Career. He has found new life at Real Monarchs and now in El Paso.
a proud father and a homeowner. Will this be enough to create a new problem for Sam Strong in Fresno? Sam Strong being quickly directed away from the scene of the crime. He is, as mentioned, on a yellow.
And we go back to that first yellow for the tug on the shirt. Said at the time, don't give away those silly yellows because you're going to need them later in the game. And now he could have got a yellow for the penalty. He wasn't. He could have got a yellow there. And maybe he's going to get away with it again. That's hugely risky play. Have a look at it again. Doesn't get the ball. I've seen yellows given for that, so he's a lucky man, Sam Strong, but I don't think the referee's going to give him another chance. Anything from now, and he almost certainly will be off.
May I suggest, if you're Fresno, you haven't used 2 of your subs, and now, given that you're down a goal with 5 minutes to go, a center back might be the guy you take off the field.
Well, you've got other options as well. You've got Diego Casillas, who's such a good creator, and you need a goal now. Do you not chuck him on?
And what is the actual, my goodness, it has to be. That's it. Off goes Strong. 1 too many. Sam Strong's second yellow. One could call it a 3rd strike.
Yeah, you can't have too much sympathy. He got it. He was lucky with the penalty. He was lucky then a few minutes later in midfield. You've got to keep your hands off. You can't put your arm around someone's neck. And the referee's just warned you as well. Perhaps you're right. Perhaps it would have been better to have subbed him, but as a player, you've got to use that football intelligence, and you know you can't give the referee that opportunity. And fair dues to the ref. You can't criticize him. He's
gave him every opportunity.
He gave him more than every opportunity. Hasn't this match turned around from Fresno 2-1 up to great chances? Bustamante has won himself. Kurimoto should have made it 3-1. They don't take the chances. El Paso get level. They go ahead. And now Fresno down to 10 men.
Exiting the game, number 7,
Sebastian Velasquez leaves. He scored the game winner. As it stands now, Sebastian Contreras comes on. That is a theoretical like-for-like sub. Attacking midfield for attacking midfield. Both teams have 2 subs remaining. Arun Basulovic is waiting to make his first appearance in nearly 3 months. He's moved over to the 4th official. Ellis Hayden trying to dig this out. El Paso's comeback, stuff of legend in El Paso, should this come off. Sacramento fans coming off their own good news on Monday, a playing game win and a win over Reno, watching intently. Away from Cheney. And maintained, back through Moses. There's Basulovic warming up behind in his red kit. Kurimoto, who missed a gasping goal, could have put this away. Kurimoto crossing as far as Moses. Slipped ahead, Martin for Cooper, who had the go-ahead goal not too long ago. And Salgado is off on the run. Kiesewetter joining. 10 men Fresno trying to defend. Kiesewetter, can he finish now? No.
That's a bad miss from Kiesewetter. You've got to take that chance and bury Fresno, and it's not taken. And you allow the home side to come back at you, but that's such a straightforward. If the keeper saves again, that's fine, but you at least hit the target. You can't balloon that over, Kiesewetter. He's lucky there's only a couple of minutes left.
Slid in front, Cheney still at his feet. Drops it off. Ellis Hayden striding to keep it up. Kaffa slipping through. And the captain tries the cross. Bounces off of Ross. And we're in for 120 seconds of simply wild play before stoppage.
Look at the crowd. They're trying to will this goal in for Fresno.
Kaffa. Moses, a thunderbolt.
Way off target. That's the problem. Thunderbolt, yes, but you've got to hit the target with it. Down to 10 men now. It's getting more and more difficult as the minutes slip away for Fresno. I wonder if they're going to look back at those yellow cards as you make a substitution here, Pasulovic, but would Ramon Del Campo have given away that penalty that Sam Strong gave away?
Moses has made his last impact. Amazing that he came back at all. Same can be said for Pasulovic. The training staff from Physio Motion said about 90% strength. They deem that good enough to return. The drama right now is simply dripping out of this game. A Fresno team that had seemingly killed off the demons of late goals conceded that sprouted up a year ago. Right now, they are on the verge of watching it all come crashing down. Gomez out, Richie Ryan comes on, and a free kick won by El Paso at midfield. There's Ryan set to come in.
Frustration for that crowd. They can't believe how this match has turned around, and this unlucky spell for Fresno continues. And we assume it's unlucky. I guess Sam Strong getting a red card isn't unlucky. That was just not good game management. But you're 2-1 up, or you're 1-0 down, you fight your way back, you go 2-1 up. You should really wrap it up with Kurimoto. And the next thing, it's a penalty, and then you're 3-2 down. It just has been a terrible run these last 5 or 6 matches for Fresno.
Gomez scored the opener in this back in the 19th minute. That seems like an eternity ago. Well, close enough. Richie Ryan, the former Sunderland man, time in Ottawa and Jacksonville and Miami, time in Jacksonville with Mark Lowry. An injury kept him out. He's back now. Salgado. They're pointing for a corner, and there's something extra after the fact that has the referee running over.
This is when it gets a bit chippy at the end, time wasting, and I'm not saying it was time wasting, but certainly that's how it will be seen by the opposition, Fresno. And here we go, back to the ball. They're going to start kicking out, and these last few minutes always tempers start to fray.
5 minutes of stoppage time.
And it's with Fresno now.
If they lose this, Fresno, it's 5 losses and a draw in their last 6 after a season in which they have just been absolutely brilliant. Sitting second in the table at one stage, beating and stopping Phoenix Rising's incredible run. They've done everything this season except the last 6. Nothing's gone their way.
It means 5 losses in their first 29. 5 to close out the last 6. Bustamante. It's a nice build-up from Fresno. The cross toward Cheney. It's his fairy tale still to be written. Yuma. We'll have to knock it further, but right to Kurimoto. Kafa swings it over again. Long distance header is off the top of the net. Christian Cheney.
So unlucky, just over the crossbar from Cheney, and he really has shown what he's capable of tonight with the goal. And this effort, Juan Pablo's cross, but he just gets a little bit too much height in it, a little bit less effort, and that could have dropped in the top corner. And what an equalizing goal that would have been for Christian Cheney.
Salgado chips it further upfield. 2 trailing runs. Laid off and floated over again. One wonders how many lifelines Fresno's going to be granted. It was Kiesewetter again.
Certainly have missed chances, El Paso, but then so did Fresno 20 minutes ago. So it's been the same both sides. Maybe what separates them is the penalty given away by Sam Strong, unnecessary to make that challenge. And that will ultimately be the difference between the 2 teams. I was just making the point earlier, if Ramon Martin Del Campo had been fit, would they have been in the same position? Kudos Lawal as well. If it had been available, would he have scored some of the goals? Well, they weren't available, so I guess there's no point having that discussion.
Jerome Kiesewetter is done. Moses McKinday comes on. He was acquired on June the 15th from Tulsa for Calvin Resende. Trying to see this out. And Contreras won the ball. And a foul from Fresno. And Ellis Hayden. Contreras gliding in on goal. Daly stymies him. Should Fresno win the ball back, they'll have maybe one more good chance. Ross, Kurimoto. Ross swarmed, continuing to keep it and flicking it onward. And time has come down to these precious 10 seconds. Stabbed away by Antoko. What a comeback from El Paso. As if it matters how a man falls, it's been said. When the fall is all that's left, it matters very much. And Fresno came back from a goal down, gave it every last inch they have.
It's been a brilliant game for both sides. Credit every which way. They both could have won it. They both had opportunities. They've both put 120% into this match in every way. And if El Paso go away now, having won away from home, and they deserve the next match to be at home. But this is a fantastic achievement against a top-class Fresno side who've given everything here tonight. What a game we've enjoyed.
Well done by Cheney. Taken away by Yuma. Referee checks his watch. The slide in by Daly. Contreras trying to force his way through. Kurimoto. Referee one more glance. Chipped away from Cooper. El Paso has done it on the road. And for Fresno, it's a crushing conclusion.
Congratulations to Mark Lowry, fantastic result. Commiserations to Adam Smith and his team. Look at them, they're flat out on their backs there. Christian Cheney scored the goal. He probably thought that was going to be a winner or part of the winning goals, and not to be. They're all on their haunches, Fresno. It's been the worst possible end to the season after one of the best seasons you can imagine. But that's not what it's about. It's about winning in the playoffs, and El Paso have done that. They have a home match against Sacramento. They can go all the way to the Western Conference Finals, and maybe beyond that. Their dreams are alive for Fresno. It's all about what could have been.
Unparalleled despair. And fans who are giving one more shout to their team. Fire Squad Fresno popped out of the ground. And, well, they were impressive tonight. Tonight's man of the match is presented by El Mexicano. Alex Cooper thought he had a game winner.
He did. At 2-1, they were on top. Then Bustamante had a chance. He should have hit target. He didn't. Then Kurimoto had an open goal nearly, just to keep it a beat, and he missed that. And instead of being 3 or 4-1 up, it was 2-1, and James Keffy hits one towards the top corner. Absolutely brilliant strike, and that turned the match around.
Here's your moment of the match, presented by McCarty Insurance.
Christian Cheney with a header, Alex Cooper with a cross. Beautiful header, almost off the back of his head in the end. And that got them back in the match. And that was what it was all about. We thought then Fresno had turned it around. They were going to go on to win this match. All the momentum was with them, but got to give El Paso credit. When Fresno didn't take their chances, they came back. James Keffy with a fantastic strike. And then Sam Strong gives away the crucial penalty. And that's really tough to lose this match the way they did, Fresno. A heartbreaking end to the season. Last 6 matches, 5 losses and 1 draw. Can you believe it, from such a wonderful season?
El Paso, 3-2 winners. 2 upsets now in the West, with 1 game still to go in the quarterfinals, as the Locomotive will head back home to host Sacramento in the conference semifinals. 3-2 the final here. We'll wrap this one up when we return to Fresno. Welcome back, everybody. El Paso winners on the road, ending Fresno's season. They're on to the conference semifinal where they'll take on Sacramento Republic next weekend. Gary Bailey, Mike Watts, tonight's Save the Game brought to you by BMW. You can stop by, test drive the all-new 2019 BMW 3 Series, BMW Fresno.
Well, this is actually a save, not so much from the goalkeeper, CJ Cochran, but this is Mickey Daly with the outside of his sort of thigh, just blocking that ball. Fantastic run from Kiesewetter, gets a bit of Sam Strong, goes round CJ, Mickey Daly, there, just blocks it, and they get the clearance. So it's a sort of a save that involves the entire defense, literally.
And a look at tonight's Zoom image of the match. Fresno native, Christian Cheney.
What a wonderful goal he got, and it should really, in theory, have been put them on the way to a victory. He was certainly hoping it would be. Alex Cooper gets the second, they're 2-1 up, and they're looking like they're going to wrap it all up, but it wasn't to be. But a decent effort from Christian Cheney, and a great effort all round from Fresno.
Let's take a look at our full-time highlights from this affair. Got a lot of ground to cover. Let's start with the opening whistle from Lucas Zapala. It's Gomez off a set piece. Was it saved off the line? Nay, it's a goal. 19th minute.
Yeah, well, it's difficult to see if it crossed the line, but this is the way Fresno's luck's gone. It was given. Nobody marking Gomez, and he gets a good strike on it. Give him credit. Comes off there, peels off. Loses his marker, which might have been Seth Moses. Zach Ellis Hayden thinks he's done enough. Referee gives it. They're 1 up.
Fresno going the other way after halftime. Christian Cheney scores in the 49th.
Brilliant header, getting above Chiro and Toko to score that. That gets them on level terms. Wonderful cross from Alex Cooper, and that fires up the crowd and Fresno, and you, a lovely little celebration, and you think, here we go. Fresno have got it all going for them. Bustamante putting pressure on. Now watch Ketchera, the keeper, trying clever pass. Goes straight to Cooper, he goes whack, back of the net, 2-1 Fresno.
55th minute, and the whole narrative has changed. Fresno's gonna save their season. It's going to continue for one more week. But El Paso had other ideas. A team at times that struggled to score would find another answer on a set piece. Lift it straight up. Cochran able to make this catch. Fire the other way. And this was a chance to put it away for Fresno. Chance they didn't take.
Yeah, Bustamante's going to get the ball from Juan Pablo Cuffer at the far post here. Brings it down. Got to hit target. You can't go over the crossbar from there. And that wasn't the only chance that came their way. There's another one to Bustamante, far post. He's going to hit it straight to Kurimoto. He's 3 yards out. You got to hit target. You cannot miss from there. Christian Cheney says, well, unlucky, but they would have paid for that because minutes later, Salgado, some good work. Velasquez, ball comes across here to James Keffy. Look at this strike. Touches it wide. Bang. CJ doesn't move.
145 professional games. Goal number 3. Equalizes in the 77th. And then we talked about it ad nauseum. Sam Strong on a yellow card. He wouldn't get sent off here. But the foul on Gomez leading to the penalty in the 83rd.
Just stand up there. Don't make the tackle. See him towards the touchline. But penalty given, tucked away beautifully there. Down the middle of the goal it goes. 3-2, El Paso ahead. And now they have to hang on to the lead.
And Strong, minutes later, sent off for one foul too many.
Yeah, it wasn't just the one, was it? There was 2 or 3 chances before that where he could have been sent off. Referee gave him the benefit of the doubt. Lucas Zapala in the end, just too many for Sam Strong. Down to 10 men. Fresno trying everything to break down El Paso. And this header from Christian Cheney just over the crossbar. And that was pretty much it. So close in so many ways. What a game. 5 goals. Credit to both sides.
Gary, chance for your final thoughts as we see a bracket that is much more diverse than the East.
Well, El Paso have come good these last few games. The last 7, 4 wins and 2 draws. The only loss being when they'd already made the playoffs. Now they've added another win on top of that against Fresno. They're home against Sacramento. Who says they can't go all the way?
And Phoenix is in extra time as we speak on ESPN Plus with Austin Bold scoreless at the break. Thank you. I mean, quite simply, it's been 2 pretty beautiful years in Fresno. And we hope whatever happens next that you've taken these moments and appreciated them just as much as we did.
20-game winning streaks ended, playoff games, a loud crowd, smoke billowing. It's been spectacular. For Gary Bailey, our entire Vista WorldLink team, Mike Watts saying thank you and good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.